Good morning! So today we're coming to you from a coffee finca and we're about to head out on a tour and it's in English. How cool. Did you know that orchids are endemic to Guatemala? Hundreds of varieties actually, but they're endangered due to overselling. Side note, the finca was hosting a seminar during our tour, so there's some distracting background noise in the next few clips. Sorry about that. We thought the information was still worth sharing, but in case it's too much for you, we've added in video chapters so you can skip ahead.
How we are going to harvest them needs to be just the Chicoj coffee that stay in the middle of each plant of coffee. We don't use the coffee that stay at the high part of each plant because usually in each pulp of them came just one seed. That means that if we are going to grow them for our growth process, they are going to grow but with two specific roots. That means that their secondary roots, they don't grow well. And the Chicoj coffee that stay at the down part of them usually came with 3 seeds. Those 3 seeds, if we are going to grow them, we are going to have a big percent of them that they can't grow, and also we call them triangle seeds. When we harvest them, we are going to separate their pulp from their seeds. And here you could see that we have 2 seeds. They are specially for our growth process, and they contain like a type of honey that we call them mucilage. We are going to wash it because if we don't wash them, the ant or another types of animals could eat our seeds of coffee. When we wash the honey, we're going to dry the seeds of our coffee on the shadow. The drying time are going to be depending of the weather that we are going to have, but it's specifically if the weather is sunny are going to be about 5 to 7 days. When they are going to dry, we are going to see them like that. They are pergamene coffee. Right now, the form how we are going to grow them needs to be on their back. We don't grow them like that because the roots of them grow here. That means that if we are going to grow them like that, we don't get straight roots. For that reason, they need to go on their back like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Looks
they're
like a
flat,
peanut.
right? Like the flat part is on the
Yeah.
bottom? Okay.
Yeah.
It does look like a peanut.
Like that.
Okay, well, I'm sure it doesn't taste like a peanut.
When they are going to get 45 days, we are going to see them like that. Like those. Or like those. Like that.
Okay.
When they are going to get 60 days, we are going to see them more like that or like that. And we call them coffee soldiers. The reason why we call them coffee soldiers is because finally they broke those part of them, those white skin, and we see those white part of them like their helmet. You could see here.
Yes,
Soldiers.
yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
For that reason, we call them coffee soldiers. When they get 75 days, we could see them with 2 leaves yet. And it's when, in our case, we call them butterfly for the 2 leaves that they have. Yeah. When they have those 75 days, it's when we are going to transplant them on those biodegradable bags. We are using those biodegradable bags because with those we are helping the environment, and also in our case we are working with an organic coffee. That means that in our case finally we use those biodegradable bags like a compost for our plants. On those biodegradable bags our plants are going to stay for 5 to 6 months. When they are going to finish those months is when we're going to take them to the field in the area where we are going to get the fruits of them. For 1.5 years, we are going to be careful of them in case of the topic about shade, sun, nutrients that they are going to need. In the second 1.5 years, we are going to get the first fruits of them. But those fruits, they are going to be in less product. For example, in each plant of coffee, we're going to get about 3 to 5 pounds of coffee in each plant. But when they are going to get 5 years is when we're going to get more pounds of coffee, about 6 to 12 pounds of coffee in each plant.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
After about 5 years? Or how many years?
The first fruits we get in 2.5 years.
Okay, 2.5 for the first, and then when it produces more
Are going to be in 5 years.
in 5 years. Okay.
Yeah. If you want to harvest one with one of you could do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you want to taste the honey that they contain, you could do it, but don't eat the seed because it's so hard, just like a candy.
It's sweet.
Don't need to see the.
It's sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
The specific species of coffee that we are going to herd in whatever place there are Canephora and Arabic species of coffee. We separate them in 3 processes. Those 3 processes, they are the wash process, honey process, and natural process. And from this Chicoj coffee, we separate with a machine the pulp from the seeds because those they are for drinking. It's not for our grow process. In case of our grow process, we separate their pulp from the seeds by our hand or by our feet because we don't want to kill the seeds of them. But in that case, it needs to be by the machine because it's a lot of coffee, you know.
Yeah.
Since when we separate the pulp from the seeds, we are going to send the seeds of our coffee on fermentation and oxidation process. Those processes are going to be depending of the weather that we are going to have, but the fermentation and oxidation process, it's about 24 to 25 hours. When they finish the fermentation process, we send them in a wash process where we wash all the honey that's still on the seeds of our coffee. When they are going to finish those seeds, we send them in a drying process. In our case, we have a special place where we dry them, but the drying time it's taking about 75 hours because it's by the machine. But we could dry them in a special yard too, but the drying time are going to take more days, about 20 to 25 days. When they are going to get 10 to 12 humidge, we're going to see them like that. In case of those processes, we are exporting the 50% for United States, 25% for Europe, and 23% for Asia. Just the 2% of that process we have here in Guatemala, specifically here on that cooperative, because in our case we don't sell our coffee in whatever supermarket here in Guatemala. The reason is because the time of life that each coffee have for us since when we roast them, it's just 10 to 12 weeks. Then they are going to lose all the flavors or the characteristics that they have it. In case of the honey process of our coffee, we harvest the Chicoj coffee. We separate their pulp from the seeds. Those seeds, we don't wash the honey that they contain, the honey that you taste. With those honey, we dry them. In that case, need to be the drying time just in special yard or in greenhouses. But the drying time that this one is taking, it's 30 to 35 days. When they finish those drying time, we could see them like that. In case of those processes, we are exporting more for Asia, but specifically for Taiwan and Korea.
Okay.
In case of the natural process, we harvest the Chicoj coffee. In that case, we don't separate anything. With their pulp, we dry them in a special yard or in greenhouses. The drying time that this one it's taking, because it's like the straight grapes, it's 40 to 45 days. When they finish to dry, we could see them more like that. In case of that process, also we are exporting more for Asia, but specifically for Japanese people.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you have any question about them.
Oh, very interesting.
Cola de mono too. We call them cola de mono for the form that grow a new leaves. There we could see.
Yes. Curly.
Here we could see. It's
Wow.
ready. Because we could see it in black color inside of them. If you want to taste them, you could taste it.
We finished our tour with a coffee tasting, which we enjoyed so much that we forgot to film it. Honestly, the coffee was some of the best we've ever had. I can only hope that we'll make it back there someday to buy another bag, because those coffee beans were pure magic. So we're coming to you from the mountains again. We left the coffee plantation yesterday morning. The giant goats. I love it.
Yep.
and drove back to stay in the same spot we were at a few days ago. Although it's sunny. It's been sunny since we've been here. So a little different than when it was cloudy and a little damp last week. But it's been nice. And we are headed out for a little hike. And we have the cats. I don't think we've taken the cats for a walk, for a hike. I don't know. Probably since sometime when we were in the Pacific Northwest. Or maybe Canada even. I don't know.
Well, we got to go hiking a little bit in San Dionisio by the riverbed.
True. But not a proper hike where there's a trail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's fun. Got them loaded up in the backpacks. We'll see what we find. Seems like they have some little fish ponds here at this hotel we're staying at. Tyga is thinking about jumping out of that backpack. We already got him out for a little walk this morning. Well, at least Tyga. Nutty had no interest. Tyga was loving it. Climbing trees. Listening to birds. I think she's pretty excited to be out with us again. Come on, Tyga.
Let's get this tree.
Oh!
Good job.
Crazy girl. Crazy?
She climbed back down.
Yep. Good job.
All right, come on, there's a good one up here you can climb.
Come on, let's go. We're going to stop for all the trees. Nutty's backpack is open, but so far she doesn't seem to have any interest in coming out.
See, there's another one. He's a climbing fiend. You're on again. Come on, my friend.
Come on, Tyga.
Tyga was nervous, so I put her backpack down for her, and she immediately hopped in. So something was making her nervous. She wanted to go for a ride. Meanwhile, Nutty has no qualms about riding along. She is just relaxing and enjoying the ride. Aren't you, Nutty?
Even in the mountains, we find lots of banana trees.
Cats get nervous still when we get around running water, and it looks like we're about to a creek bed, so we're gonna stop and zip up the babies. Oh. Got a caged lion here. Oh, you can get in right there.
Yeah, I can swim a little.
Can you go for a swim?
I'm okay right now.
I'll go shaking in her boots.
No.
They're in that water.
Hello, bud. Okay. She's looking at it. She's like, oh gosh, I don't know about that. It's okay, buddy. We just saw a family on the trail that we met yesterday. They have some cats, and they were really liking the cats yesterday when we were walking them. But they're on their way back from the waterfall, and they let us know that the water level is a bit low right now, so there's not so much of a waterfall, but that's probably better for the cats. Looks like across the little creek there's a farm. It's pretty green grass. Lots and lots of pretty green grass in this area. That's for sure. Based on the sound, I think we've made it. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you can see it a little bit down there. So pretty. I think if we keep going, we get a better view. Oh yeah. Dee Dee's already made it down. It's a little bit steep, so you gotta be careful. Wow, how pretty is that? So pretty. Nice and cool right here from the water.
Yeah. Yeah, not so bad.
Wow. Alright, we could stay longer, but I don't think the kitties would appreciate it. So we're gonna head back away from the water. Feels a little bit more jungly over here. A little bit more humid, probably from the creek. Very nice. I have to say I'm pleased with this trail, except for one spot where there was water running into the creek. It's been totally dry. For anyone that's been following along since we were up in Alaska, you already know. Muddy hikes aren't really my thing. So, this is nice. Made it back to the creek we'll cross. And I just noticed some pretty flowers. They're growing out of this tree. Almost looks similar to a banana tree. Don't know if it is or not.
If you liked this video, let us know by liking and subscribing. And don't forget, you can see more of the journey on Instagram and TikTok. Cheers, friends!